Welcome, everybody, to another podcast. I'm so excited that you're joining me today. So, last time we talked about having a strong why and how that's important to actually achieve your goals. And I mentioned that this week we're going to be talking about clearing the clutter. What does that mean? So, when you think about clearing the clutter, you're thinking, okay, a mess in your house, in your office, and you need to get to it and put it away, right? But in terms of mindset, it has the same kind of thought process, but with things that really just interfere with you moving forward. So that can be like you have this long to do list and you're trying to get through it, and you seem like you can never get through it. Like there's always something coming up. Or it could be a mess in your house that's really just messing with your mind because it it is things, let's face it is things that just get to us. Maybe you need to clean out your computer. You have long emails, they're piling up 2,000, 3,000 emails that you haven't even looked at or addressed. It can be a lot of multiple things, but the premise, the thing that we need to focus on, why we need to clear the clutter is because there are things, and this could be different for everybody, but there are things in our life that is causing clutter, taking up space in our mind and preventing us from moving forward to achieving the results we want and being able to work toward that, work toward the goals that we set out for ourselves. And so at this time right now, I want you to think about what that could be for you. What is taking space in your mind because you know you need to address it, but you keep putting it off because you are too focused on getting X, Y, and Z done. But X, Y, and Z is not really getting done or is not being done the right way, or you just can't get through it. You just can't finish it because of those things, because it's difficult to really focus. So think about it. Raise your hand if you are the type of person that if my house is not clean, my space is not clean, I can't really do much. Like that needs to get done first. There are some people that are like that, and that's okay. Like I myself do not like mess, but I have gotten away from it because of having kids, that it needs to be a priority. It needs to be done right here and now. And more that I'm able to set time for when that is going to be addressed. And I know it, so I'm not going to let it take over my mind. Like I'm not going to let it take that space because I already hold space for it. It's going to happen on Friday night when the kids are in bed and I can really focus on it. Other things that have taken space in my mind that has been really difficult to focus on other things is when I know that there's things like paying the bills and making sure that everything financially is aligned. Because if not, that gets behind my head. I can't move forward with my day. I can't move forward with certain financial decisions that needs to be made when I am running my business. So you got to take these things into account. Another thing that takes space in my mind is the things that I got to do with my children. Like I think that's kind of one of the top things that just keeps running through my mind on how I'm going to go through my day. Or I always have large to-do lists. I am a serial to-do list maker. I just constantly, it's something that just makes me feel like I'm assuring myself that things are going to be accomplished, things are going to be done. But if they don't get done, it's like, man, I have this clutter basically that is weighing on me because I want it to get done. So it's very important. And often we find that when these things are taking space up in our mind, we don't really think about it that way. We don't think like, oh boy, yeah, this has been bothering me. This has been something that I really need to address. I didn't think that it was causing me to be non-productive or causing me not to be able to finish 100% or do good quality. For me, that also interrupts my sleep. It interrupts my focus. These are important things for important reasons. We need our sleep. We need to be able to focus on the tasks that we're doing, taking care of our children, and so on and so forth. So I'm really passionate about this because this often comes up for even me in my day. Like I told you, I constantly make to-do lists. I can show you my phone, notebooks, like I do it all the time. And I'm actually going to be looking into a productivity software called Motion that claims it's going to help with stop making to-do lists. I haven't tried it out yet, and I'll let you know if I do. But even little things that can help us really organize our thoughts, organize tasks that need to be done, just organization in general will help move the needle forward. Now, it's funny because I already had this topic lined up to speak on. And this week, it really came up for me because I was working on a special website for a new product that I'm releasing within the next coming weeks. And this product is a meal plan program that is going to help women lose weight and feel confident in their clothes. And so I'm really excited about it because I've been working on it for a while. And I just came across some hiccups when I was creating it because I was feeling like I was on a deadline and I needed to get this done as soon as possible. But because I had that mindset and that framing, I was sacrificing other things that were important in my life that needed to be on the top priority. And that's the thing that happens. We start creating clutter in our lives when we're putting something else as a priority. When that happens, we can't do it 100%. We can't do it to the best of our ability. And I was hitting mind blocks. I'm like, okay, what do I write here? How do I present this? Where does this go? Does this look right? How am I going to get through this? I still have so much done. And I'm focusing on this one thing, and I neglected my sleep. I neglected my kids' routines. I neglected cleaning. I neglected some of my meal prepping. And I'm like, these things are important to me, very important to me. Time with my family. And I am neglecting them. I'm not prioritizing them in the right manner, all because I allowed this one thing to take priority in my mind, where all these other things are just collecting space and it's becoming a clutter. And now it's affecting my performance. It's affecting how I do my job, how I am able to move forward in my business. And so it took a little bit of me to just sit back. I spoke with some friends for some encouragement, and I spent some time in the word and worship with God. And, I heard him tell me that I needed to be still. I needed to just be still with my thoughts, not run rampant with them and go crazy and feel like I'm out of control, and I was feeling out of control, and my mind just needed to relax, and I needed to get my sleep, and I needed to be there for my children, and so on and so forth. So I started implementing a routine, getting more organized with when I do things, how I do things, getting to sleep earlier, in which I did. I did last night. And it was so much better. So, so much better. And I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm able to think more level headed and be able to move forward when I wasn't moving forward before. So think about what is causing clutter in your mind, what is taking space in your mind, and what are you making more a priority? Like, what is misaligned in your life? I think as moms, we tend to do this a lot. We have these collection of things that we're always thinking about. And yes, our family is one of the top priorities for us. But oftentimes, we leave ourselves in the back burner. We try to do everything for everyone. And at the end of the day, we're tired. We're exhausted. We feel like me time is just sitting on the couch and binging some of our favorite shows where we can get lost in and live through these characters from these shows. Have you ever felt like that? And I'm not saying everybody's doing that. I'm not trying to put everybody in a box, in a label, but I'm talking from my own experience and from what I've heard from other moms. It's hard to, at the end of the day, after everything we just pushed through, to now be like, okay, I'm going to go start doing my workout. Or, all right, I'm going to start meal prepping for the week. Like we're just like, nah, I'm good. Like, I just need to relax and I need to put up my feet, flip through Facebook or Instagram and just get lost. And oftentimes when we do that, we can't be bothered with investing in our own life. Now we start investing in the lives of fictional people. We start living through those experiences. And you know what results from that? Call it the trap of comparison, because it really is a trap. We often compare ourselves to other people, seeing that they have a better life than us. They have it all together. They have the perfect family. They have all the money that they need. And it's a trap because all we know is what's on the surface level. If you're looking at someone's Facebook or Instagram, you're only seeing a highlight reel of their life. If you are watching vloggers or, your favorite binge-worthy TV show. Right now, I don't know what's the most popular show out there, but I know for a time before they canceled, there was a show called This Is Us. And it was a good show. It really knew how to hit people right here in the heart. It was very gut-wrenching, some of the moments, because you could relate to these people. Like, they weren't just plain old fictional characters, but they were people that were living real life situations that you can just resonate with. The writers did a really good job with this. And so we need to do better for ourselves. We can't fall into that trap of comparison. When we fall into that trap of comparison, we're saying, I'm not going to take responsibility for myself. I'm not going to start doing what I need to do to work on my mindset, to work on, any personal matters that are coming up, maybe financial situations, your marriage, your parenting, to work on your health. These things matter. They're important and they need to be prioritized the right way in your life. So I get it. We're tired at the end of the day. If you go to a regular 9 to 5 job, you have to pick up your children. They have extracurriculars after school. Maybe they're in sports, dance. You got to take them from here to there. Maybe your spouse is working longer hours. They can't, be there for you all the time. And you feel like you're running this rat race on your own. And at the end of the day, you're like, I just can't be bothered. I can't start thinking about myself now. My tank is empty. I've been there. I've felt that so many different times. My tank is empty, and all I can do is just sit down and be. But in the midst of sit down and be, and I'm not saying you can't rest. I'm not saying you can't have a few moments to enjoy some entertainment. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is that can't be your only outlet. That can't be where you just zone out and start comparing yourself to others and living through other people's lives. There needs to be other outlets for you where you can start working on yourself, start doing the things that you need to do, start feeling more productive, more accomplished instead of what you've been feeling, and allowing all this clutter to build up. Because can you agree when we let clutter build up, the more we allow it to build up, say those dishes in the sink, now they're piled up so high you can't even see past them. And I'm going to show you a little secret because on YouTube, if you're watching here on YouTube right now, you'll be able to see this because you get a video copy of the podcast. But those that are listening on the podcast will not be able to see this, but I will describe what the YouTube people are seeing right now. I changed around my office so that it was better efficient for me to do my live workouts for my clients. And there was one part that I didn't get to really clean out, and I hate doing it, is papers. Like when you find papers, and there might be important papers in there, and you got to start which is good, which is not, throw them out, right? This was a while ago, and I still haven't got to it, and it's kind of piling up. Well, I'm just going to show you what my desk looks like. It has papers upon papers upon papers. And if I were to go through that right now, that's going to take me probably a week to get through, if not more, but I'm just estimating about a week. Like, as things pile up, it just gets even more difficult to actually work on it. So, you want to make sure that whatever is building up, causing clutter in your mind, that you don't want it to just keep growing and growing to the point where you just can't even find the strength to do it. You can't even be bothered with it. Like, just thinking about it is so daunting. It's so like you just may not ever fix those things, get those things in order. And it's going to cause you a long road of discouragement, feeling unaccomplished, feeling unworthy, falling into the trap of comparison, maybe even going as far as hating your life. That's a harsh word, and I don't like saying it. I don't feel that we should ever think that way. But there are people that do. And you know what? We need to do our diligence to not get that far. We need to do our diligence as moms to be the best version of ourselves for the people that we are doing all this for. We want to be the best moms and we want to be examples to our children. We want to reflect what it is to be a decent human being, to be a person that loves, to be a person that takes care of others, but also takes care of themselves. They see that through us. So we need to do our best to start clearing the clutter, not of our homes, could be our homes, but not of that, but of our minds. What is taking up space? And what are you prioritizing first? When we really truly sit down and think about that, think about how we can move forward, how we can be successful in the things we're trying to accomplish, how we can actually reach our goals and feel good about it. At the end of the day, we want to feel good about it. We don't want to veg out into a TV series or someone's highlight reel on social media. We want to enjoy life. We want to enjoy our families, and we want to feel good doing it. We want to look good doing it. We want to have optimal health, be in good financial standing, have great marriages, have great relationships. All these things can be achieved when we look at what we're truly prioritizing and not neglecting ourselves or losing ourselves in the process. Super, super important. And I want to encourage you today. And this might and can very well be an ongoing process. Sometimes we feel like we have it all together and we're like, man, things are going great. I've been keeping up with my priorities. I've been taking care of myself, working out, eating right, all this X, Y, and Z. We're doing great. And we can hit a wall. It can come up at any moment. And honestly, for me, as a spiritual person, as a follower of Christ, I have felt this week hitting a wall because it's when you are at your best or your highest moment that the devil targets you and starts creating this warfare of your mind. So you really need to tune into this and don't for a second think that when everything is going great, that something can't come and mess that all up for you. And that is when we start creating the clutter in our lives when something comes and mess things up for us. It truly is. It truly does. Because then we start getting down. We start feeling defeated. We start feeling hopeless. And these little things start piling up in our lives. Yeah, you agree, Kiara? Yeah. Yeah, Kiara agrees. So I want to leave you with that today. And I want you to really sit down and be with your thoughts. It doesn't take too long to start doing an inventory of your mind. Ask yourself, what am I making a priority in my life? And as I'm doing this, what am I neglecting? And how can I rearrange these priorities so they align with the life that I want to live? So they align with what God has created me to do, with the purpose that I know that I have for my life. Sit down, see what you come up with, and then start taking action. All right, ladies, that's it for today's podcast. And I hope it was helpful to you. I hope you can move forward in whatever you're trying to accomplish in this life. Be the best moms you can be. And I'll see you next week.
Daddy,
Take care, everyone.
Daddy.
Bye.